Are we seeing the first few days of World War III? On today's episode of America Unfiltered with James Paskalides, we'll talk about the hypocritical comments coming from Karen Bass and the left, and then we'll also talk about the continuing conflict going on between Iran and Israel. All that and much more coming up on today's episode of America Unfiltered with James Paskalides, starting now.
The moment is here. This is our moment.
America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered with James Paskalides. We're going to dive right into our topics today. Our first topic of the day is the hypocritical left. I know this is something we talk about all the time, and we've talked about Karen Bass a lot recently, too. She is the delusional mayor of LA, an absolute DEI hire, is not qualified for the job at all. And I want to play this video for you guys real quick of her talking about what she thinks the impact of kicking illegal immigrants out of Los Angeles and out of the United States will be.
I don't think the president understands that we have entire sectors of our economy that cannot function without immigrant labor.
The Democrats are constantly proving my point. They don't actually care about the migrants. They didn't care when Obama was deporting millions or Bill Clinton was deporting millions. They care about two things. They care about going against Trump's agenda, no matter what it is. Trump could literally save the world, and they would argue that the world should have ended. And the other agenda is they want slave labor. They want cheap, undocumented slave labor where they can underpay and abuse workers and get away with it. The same party who said, who's going to pick our cotton if we make slavery illegal, is the same party now saying, who is going to pick blueberries for $2 and build decks and wash your houses? It is just blatant racism by the Democratic Party and the Liberal Party. They love to say that Republicans are racist for enforcing our sovereignty and enforcing border laws, something every country does, even Mexico and every other South American country. I urge any one of my liberal viewers who doesn't believe me, go down there and see how long it takes for them to deport you back up here if you don't get murdered by the cartels on your way down. It is a dangerous process. Supporting illegal immigration is supporting rape, murder, torture that the cartels allow to happen through the coyotes and in the Darien Gap when they bring all these illegal migrants up, trying to smuggle them into the United States. Supporting illegal immigration is supporting slavery. It's supporting slave labor. It's supporting undercutting American laborers, undercutting American jobs. People should not be able to work in this country for $4 an hour because they're an illegal immigrant and undercut an American who would work for a much higher wage. This is a principle that should be just basic knowledge to everyone. I wouldn't be able to go into China and undercut their laborers. I wouldn't be able to go into Mexico and undercut their laborers. Couldn't go into Canada and undercut theirs. Why should every third world nation be able to pour into our country and undercut our laborers? And they say, oh, we need it for our economy. If we remove these people, who's going to do these jobs? These are terrible jobs. There are Americans who will do the jobs. They will just not do them for slave labor. You would be surprised at the things people would do for work and do for money as long as it's a decent paying job. And the fact that liberals want to continuously now act like they're so worried about the profit margins of corporations and, oh, corporations shouldn't have to cut their profit margins to hire American and to pay import fees if they want to not hire American and not manufacture their products here. When did this big change happen? Since when are liberals so worried about the stockholders? Since when are liberals so worried about the balance sheet of these big corporations and the profits that they're getting on their products? What is this? Why is Karen Bass saying that we will be unable to survive without it? No, we will be able to. The same way without slavery we were able to move forward, even though Democrats said that without slavery the U.S. would collapse. Without illegal immigration, the United States will collapse. It's the same racist rhetoric that liberals continuously try and propagate to their people and push on their people. It's the same propaganda time and time again. It's why they want to teach critical race theory. It's why they want to teach people of different races that because you are this race, this is this way, and it will never be different, and you will always be at a lesser and at a step down from everyone else. It's just racist. Republicans don't tell people that. They tell them that if you work hard, merit will get you forward in life. Democrats are they're trying to keep illegals at slave labor. They're trying to continuously bring them up here, even though they know the amount of people who are trafficked, murdered, and killed as they come up here. And when I say Democrat, I don't mean people who follow the Democratic Party. I don't think every Democratic voter is supporting the rape, murder of all these illegal immigrants. But I think the people in our government who actually know the reality of the situation and know what happens on the journey for these people who try and come to America, the amount of people who do get murdered, raped, and killed by the coyotes, by the cartels, who do just end up missing, the 400,000 kids unaccounted for in the last 4 years under the Biden-Harris regime, it is a complete mess. It is something that we need a complete shutdown of immigration until we can get a full accounting of everyone in this country. We need to stop all illegal immigration, obviously, but like I said, we need to stop legal immigration temporarily to get the full accounting of everyone in this country and put America first. Not a single tax dollar should fund legal or illegal immigration until every problem domestically in America is taken care of. My generation will never be able to afford homes with the current state of America. My generation will have the first generation to have it worse off than their parents in American history. We need to solve these domestic issues. We need to make life better for Americans. We need to solve the housing crisis. We need to solve the social dilemmas happening in schools. We need to stop the misinformation being spread around by the media and the propaganda continuously being spread by the media. And we need to get back to a common sense America where we are holding people accountable for the crimes they commit. You cannot just walk over our border, violate U.S. Code 8, 1325, and expect to have zero repercussions just because some liberal senator or some liberal governor or Democrat wants to tell you that you can do that and there will be no repercussions and they have a sanctuary city for you. ICE will find you. They will deport you. If you are getting separated from your family, you are putting your family in this situation. If you are a parent and you want to claim to be a responsible parent and love your child, do not put your child in a situation where you are going to possibly be arrested. Again, people need to be held accountable for their actions. If I was to go drunk drive and I had a family, I would be separated from my kids. If I was to go steal from somebody, I would be put in jail. If I was to go break into Mexico, I'd be deported. And if I was to break into North Korea, I would be murdered. If people break into America, you can expect to be deported. If you legally immigrate here, you can expect to assimilate to American culture. That doesn't mean leaving all your values and culture behind, but you do need to assimilate to an American culture to live in America. That is something that we've lost over the last 15 years and something we need to find again. The sense of patriotism, the sense of America first, putting America above everything else. Why has it felt over the last 10 years, 15 years that we're not putting America first? We're not supporting our veterans over supporting illegal aliens. We're not supporting our citizens over illegal aliens. People are disrespecting our country constantly. America is losing a lot of its values, and it's losing it because somehow when Donald Trump announced that he was going to run for president in 2016, it suddenly became racist to speak out against illegal immigrants. When Barack Obama deported 5 million and Bill Clinton deported 11, and people love to say, oh, they had due process. No, Obama deported 5 million, 3.5 million of them without a single court case. So again, due process should be finding out they're illegal and then sending them back to their country. That's the only due process I need, and that's the only process America should need to send these people back to their country. They are criminals who violated our sovereignty and violated our border laws. It's pretty crazy that the party who continuously pushed for slavery to be continued in the United States is now still, in this modern day and age, pushing for continued slave labor in the United States. Whether you want to agree with it or not, supporting illegal alien jobs in the United States is supporting slave labor, is supporting undercutting American wages and American laborers and undercutting the American economy to either benefit one person's feelings or to either support slave labor. I find it disgusting and despicable that the Democrats do this. This is something that they should be speaking out against the same way Republicans are, but no Democrat wants to have the conversation of when you support illegal immigration, you're also supporting slave labor, you're supporting the rape, the murder, and the torture of the people who try and come all the way through these cartel-infested territories to make it to America. It is terrible what happens to these people. It is brutally disgusting, and these people should stay in their countries. Remain in Mexico was one of the greatest things that Trump did. It makes people stay in their country when they are waiting to come into America, not just come to the border and claim asylum here. You can't just walk into a country's border, say, I need asylum, I need to stay here. That is not how it works. I want to move into Iran and Israel. So this has been, like I've talked about, a very fluid situation. It's really a lot of back and forth. Not a crazy amount has gone on between the two, besides a lot of missiles flying at each other from each country. Like I talked about yesterday, it really does worry me, the CCP-owned farmland in the United States, because of the way Israel was able to do this attack on Iran. I think the fact that they had these drones already set up weeks and months in advance and years in advance in Iran is scary, knowing that the CCP does own a lot of the farmland strategically placed around our military bases in the United States. This is something I addressed yesterday. I'm not going to go into today. It does still worry me. But I do want to talk about more confusion coming from the Trump cabinet. I've talked about this before, mixed messages coming from the Trump cabinet. This has happened multiple times. It happened with Pam Bondi and Kash Patel with Jeffrey Epstein when it came to did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself or not. And now it's happening again with Iran. Just a couple months ago, Tulsi Gabbard testified that Iran did not have a nuclear weapon. Now Trump is saying that Tulsi Gabbard was wrong. And again, Tulsi Gabbard could be wrong. But this is just another mixed messages coming from the Trump cabinet. You hear one thing from one person and you hear another thing coming from Trump. I'm going to play this video for you guys right now so you guys could hear it for yourselves too.
You don't believe Iran should be able to have a nuclear weapon, but how close do you personally think that they were to getting one? Because Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having one. I got this one on you at this.
As someone who supported Trump throughout his campaign in 2024 and has supported him through his presidency so far, these are the things that really piss me off. Because why is Tulsi Gabbard saying that they don't have it and they're not building it, but then Trump is saying yes, they are? My questions are, is Tulsi Gabbard wrong? Is Trump in debt to Israel in some way? What is going on? Are we being pulled into this war with Iran? Do we have any place in it? In my opinion, we have no place in it. I think we are getting pulled into this war with Iran. It seems that in the span of just a week or a couple weeks, it went from no new wars around the world. That was what Donald Trump ran on and what it was during the first 5 months of his presidency to, okay, only a defensive position now, which I do agree with. I don't want American troops getting hurt. I don't want American bases getting bombed. So I understand a defensive position around those things. It doesn't mean that we should be defending Israel currently. But I understand defending our home base, defending our military personnel overseas, defending different military equipment we have overseas. That makes complete sense to me. But now it seems that we're in this sitting and waiting area where it's, okay, what's going to happen? Iran is threatening to target American facilities. You have Netanyahu continuously on Fox News and on social media pushing Trump into this war. We're hearing mixed messages out of the Trump cabinet. Is this another weapons of mass destruction propaganda? What is this? Why are we hearing that they might have it, they might not? I want definitive answers before we have anything else happen. I have trusted Trump throughout his campaign and throughout his whole presidency so far, and I'm not giving that trust up yet. I do trust him in this scenario. Trump is someone who has been an excellent negotiator, and most of his negotiating skills have come through silence. As vocal as he's been to the American people, one of the most transparent presidents when it comes to talking to the American people almost every single day, Trump has been very quiet about his negotiations because he does understand that negotiations can't happen publicly. If Trump is telling the American people what he really wants and what he's trying to get to, it lowers his leverage. If Trump speaks too much and says too many things or too little, it could mess up negotiations. So I do trust that Trump is currently trying to negotiate a way out of this where there is no U.S. involvement at all. But I don't see how that happens right now. I think Israel, why did they choose to unilaterally strike them? Why did they choose to do that? They could have waited. We were in nuclear talks with Iran, and if those weren't happening, let us do it. Why are you going out of your way to strike Iran and then trying to bring us into the war? If you wanted Iran to be taken out, let Iran screw themselves. If they were building a nuclear program and we had a problem with it, Trump would have intervened when necessary. You guys going out of your way to intervene and now trying to bring the United States in makes you guys look guilty, makes us look bad, and now puts us in this hard scenario where we're in a defensive position defending all of our property overseas. We're defending American soldiers, we're defending American equipment, and we need to figure out what's actually happening. What is the next couple weeks going to look like? Is this the start of World War III? Is this the next war the U.S. will get involved in? Or is this just another conflict in the Middle East that will be blown over in a few weeks? I really hope that Trump is able to negotiate with Iran. I hope that we're not going to bomb Iran. I hope that we're not going to do anything war-related currently unless Iran takes an offensive position against the United States in any way. Currently, that's not happening. Israel and Iran are fighting, and it started after Israel bombed Iran after they infiltrated them weeks before. I understand Israel is our ally and we need to do what we can to support our allies around the world, but we also can't be dragging ourselves into every war around the world when we're trying to push an America First agenda. Donald Trump in 2016 ran on an America First agenda, and it seemed it slowly faded a little bit as we're in this 2024, now 2025 presidential year. I really hope that the America First agenda will be continued to be pushed forth on Trump's mind, that it will be continued to be pushed forth when it comes to the military decisions of the United States. We need to put America first in every way. We need to put it first in our immigration. We need to put it first in our wars and in our conflicts around the world. No American soldiers should be putting their lives on the line for any other country around the world. They shouldn't even be putting their lives on the line for America right now because there's no conflict that's worth it around the world right now. This is something I continuously talk about on my show. I am so against this war. I am so against the possibility of United States involvement. I am starting to lose patience with the Trump cabinet and the mixed messages we're hearing from the Trump cabinet. It can't keep happening that we're hearing one thing from one person and another thing from another person. This is something that I critiqued the Biden administration about all the time. You would constantly hear one thing, see another thing. I hate to see it happening with Donald Trump and his administration because I love a lot of the people in his cabinet. I do like Tulsi Gabbard a lot. I love Elon Musk. I love Tom Homan. I think Donald Trump is an excellent commander-in-chief. I just think they need to get on the same page. They are all extremely busy, which I'm sure adds to it. Donald Trump has been one of the busiest presidents that we've ever had. So the overwhelming load of work is probably making it a little harder for them to constantly stay in contact and be on the same page. But at the same time, facts aren't something that you can just say one thing and mean something else. There are facts and there are misinformation and lies. In some instances, like the Epstein information, and even here, it almost just seems like they could have done such a better job about being on the same page. If Iran was building a nuclear weapon, why did Tulsi Gabbard testify that they weren't? It's a huge question I have. I am unwilling to fight a war for weapons of mass destruction that I don't know exist. I'm James Paskalides. This is episode 71 of America Unfiltered. I'm signing off today. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.